laughing right now, man, because we're talking about rumors, and you're talking
Yeah.
about a rumor of a rumor that doesn't exist.
Oh.
Player number one.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of Press Any Button to Continue, our retro gaming podcast. This week's podcast is going to be about retro rumors. Before we go into this week, I just want to first of all introduce my co-host Keith. Keith, how are you?
How are we getting on? It's super exciting to be back, and I'm ready to go, baby.
It is episode 2. It's amazing. I can't believe it. And I just have to address, I think the both of us are on the same page here, the absolutely outrageous positive response to episode 1.
Yeah, it's kind of funny because I was just saying before we started in the green room, we were like, you know, we the first episode we recorded, we were like, what are we gonna, like, we might not even do anything with it, you know, we'll just say we'll put it up. And the fact that all our memories and the response of people talking about, I mean, the amount of people who got on to me about you and getting Game Boy Pokemon Blue without no Game Boy, do you know what I mean? And fucking everyone unlocking keys in their brains about all their nostalgic little memories was amazing. So yeah, for sure, it's been phenomenal. Like, it's just, I think it's one of those things where you don't realize that when, you know, two of us are just having a conversation, then everyone gets their memories and they're like, oh yeah, and that's what we wanted. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. It seemed to resonate so well with so many people. And it was like, you think these stories are or the video games are special to you. We don't realize that millions of people have played them and millions of people have these nostalgic memories around them. And it was just cool. I couldn't get over the amount of nice messages, nice comments, and people contacting just to say that they really enjoyed it. So I just want to address that first because it was a really nice response. And
for sure.
It's given me, it's given, I think, the both of us maybe an extra bit more drive.
Yeah, but if creative juices.
Said, because we were like contemplating not even releasing the first one. We were like, we'll just record it and see how it goes. So to get such a nice response was amazing.
For sure. Thank you for all the comments as well. Keep them all coming. We want it. Like, reading your memories is a joy. So keep them coming. We love it.
Yeah, absolutely. So today we're going to talk about retro rumors.
Oh, baby.
Yeah. You know, there was always like my neighbors, best friends, dog walkers, uncles, sisters, friends,
underground miner.
Yeah.
My dad works at Nintendo. My dad works at Nintendo's the classic.
And has a Nintendo 65. Never mind your Nintendo 64. So those kind of things, schoolyard rumors of games that were coming out, and all that kind of stuff. So there's so many. I think the biggest one that I can think of when I think of rumors is, and it's going back to Pokemon and Pokemon Blue and Red, Mew under the truck at the SS Anne. Do you know this one?
I do. So like, as in, I know we had, like, you were kind of mentioning it before to me, right? So like, it's so funny because, you know, like, it's like whispers of where someone says something and then it's something else and then, you know, it turns into something else all the time. But I have heard about that, and I remember as a kid, like, ramming my little sprite character against the van and be like, how the fuck do I get the Mew? Like, what am I doing with my life?
But see, here's the thing about this, right? This rumor was global, and like, when did Pokemon come out? Like 90, 98, 99?
I don't know. Was it 96 in Japan and was it 98 here?
Yeah. So
I don't know how early it is.
Before the internet was kind of out there and you could talk globally, so that rumor spread through word of mouth almost throughout the world, not through the power of the internet, like, and that's how widespread it was.
The thing about things like that, as well, as I remember, like, a lot of my, which is a really kind of funny nostalgic thing I have, and something that I have is all my old magazines. So like my gaming magazines.
Oh, cool.
So like, you know, even in those type of things, there was, like, you know, you were looking into seeing what was real, what was not, and what games were coming out and stuff. But yeah, like the spreading of the word of mouth that there was a Mew stuck under a van. And everyone's like, yeah, man, pull that Mew out of the van, man. I'm ready to go.
Yeah. And the amount of people are like, yeah, I got him there.
Oh, stop.
Mew. Yeah,
it's like, completed it, mate. Completed it,
mate. Yeah. There was so much of that, like, and you're like, hey, show me. No.
Do you want to hear something fucking insane, though?
Yes.
I did go to school one day, and my friend did have a Mew.
Right. What?
Hand on my heart, right? Here's the story behind this, right? So there was an actual Mew you could get in Pokemon Red and Blue.
Yeah.
So it was true, like, I don't know, I think you had to win. How did you get it? Did you have to win a competition and then...
I think it was something to do with going to Nugget Bridge in Cerulean City and walking up and down, similar to Missingo. Is that am I
I
right?
am
You're totally
fucking
wrong.
laughing right now, man, because we're talking about rumors, and you're talking
Yeah.
about a rumor of a rumor that doesn't exist.
Oh.
Oh my god, the fucking irony.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Continue though,
But
because this
that's
is
no,
like,
that's I like. I
this is
don't know
it.
how to.
This is
But
it.
I'm pretty sure because I completed. I'm very proud of myself. I completed the Pokedex like last year, the year before. So I played.
151 or 150?
I'm fairly sure 151. I have to go back and check. But I had to play like red, blue, and I also played yellow all on my own and trade with myself with
I
the
am
link cable through different Game Boys. Like,
Yeah, the saddest thing you can do. I did the same thing. I remember I was
yes,
in holidays, going back to my Spain holidays. Everything happened in Spain, man. Two things I remember from that holiday. One, I did my first karaoke ever, and my sisters
oh,
got me to
nice.
sing YMCA, and I didn't know what was going on, and people were laughing, and I was mortified. Until one old lady came up to me afterwards and said, "You did very well," and I think my mum probably told her to say that. But I remember having 2 Game Boys because I must have been a knob. And I had 2 Pokemon games. So I used to literally gather the kids around and I'd be like, what Pokemon do you want? Because it kept restarting the games and trading another Pokemon, like a
Yeah, the
Charmander,
starter.
Squirtle. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was doing that. But so I'm very curious. Tell me how you get Mew, right? Because I'm going to put
don't know. Well, hold on. Well, hold on. This lad told me that, if you go down to Professor Oak's, I'm talking bullshit, man. I don't fucking know. I don't remember. But you can't get him. You can't get him. You
You can get a Mew, right? The only
Yeah, you can get a Mew.
But no, but I'm actually really like, what you were talking about there, going to the bridge and the golden nugget thing. Like, this is like, maybe I'm wrong, right? Because the fun of this podcast is I'm not going to look it up. We're going to leave what we think in our heads as is what we think in our heads, because we're remembering what we're remembering, rightly or wrongly, right?
You could be wrong. Almost.
Just to refer back to Banjo Kazooie last week, 1 or 2 people told me that it was to do with it was never possible on the N64 to change the cartridges. Something to do with them. Do you remember talking about Banjo Kazooie to Banjo Tooie, and you could switch? Yeah. So, but apparently it was on the Xbox versions you could do it, but they tried to do it in the Nintendo 64, but apparently you had to like change the cartridge too quickly and it wouldn't work or something. So just putting it out there. But okay, so you go to Cerulean, you walk on the bridge, and what are you supposed to do?
I don't fucking know. I don't know what's next. But I just know that's kind of, you do something anyway.
Yeah.
I can't remember. I can't fucking remember.
But no, because the reason I'm asking you, and I'm not trying to put you on the spot for being mortified or anything, but it was just because of like, I heard that, like what you were saying, like I've heard that in my life. Do you know?
There you go. There's such is the glory of retro rumors.
It is. So far, you get Mew underneath the van in the SSN, or else you get him by running up and down a bridge, or with your golden nuggets. I'm so delighted how ironically hilarious this conversation already is.
I wasn't expecting that. I was like, oh, you just do this, you just do that. But you're totally right. It's a rumor of a rumor of a rumor.
So the way I heard it was, so there was a guy called Shane in my class, right?
Yeah.
And he had Mew, and I was like, at this point, I feel like we had Pokemon for like a year. So I was like, I was kind of, a bit more savvy to it. And I was like, how would you have like I on his Game Boy looking at it, seeing the sprite, and it turns out, I don't know if this is true, and again, I could be talking out my ass here, but I think I think that there was a competition, that there was something to do that you won a Nintendo and you could get it, but how he got it was through Game Shark. So do you remember Game Shark?
It's ringing a bell, but I can't.
So it's like you would push this device, into your Game Boy, and then the Game Boy game would go in on top of that, and you had all the cheats in it.
Like a Game Genie.
Kind of like that or something. So you could get like, you could do any cheats you want for any of the Pokemon.
Yeah, like there's the Game Genie on the NES was like that. You put a cart into something and it gives you all the codes.
Pretty much. And it was we just had a Game Shark thing here. So I think that's what was happening. So like I could be wrong, but I think Mew was in the data of the game, but like you
Right.
couldn't get him, and there was some competition you could do to get him back in the day.
Oh,
And
fuck.
then, but through Game Shark and stuff like that, you could just hack it and have it. So I think that's how it happened. But man, that's so funny.
I'm trying to check now to see if I did. No, I don't have my Game Boy, but I'm just trying to see because I'm an instant nerd and take pictures of everything that I'm
Sure.
playing. I'm
Oh,
trying to
you're
see if
trying to
I
see if you have the
have
151.
if I have the 151 because. But I think I think more recently I was playing through Pokemon Crystal, so I'm harping on about that. But
Sure.
I'll see if I can find it at some stage. I'll see and tell you. But
Dude, we can make an amendment to the episode that we can vindicate you if you find it, okay? That you're not that you haven't made up a rumor in your own brain for
oh,
you.
hold on. Oh shit! I just accidentally liked my own Instagram picture. Yes, seen 151, own 151. I have them all. That was
Wow.
on 23rd of April 2019.
So how'd you get
So
me?
I haven't a fucking clue, man. I
Were
can't
you,
remember.
how'd you get Mew then? I don't know. I'm gonna need some feedback on how you get Mew in Pokemon. Maybe in Yellow you could get it.
Yeah, I can't even remember. I think it was blue
Because
that I might
do you know
have
the way
gotten them. I
Pokemon
can't
Yellow
remember.
went with the TV show more? Do you know? Maybe
Yeah,
the
yeah,
movie came into play and somehow Mew was there as well. Because I know they
yeah.
talk about Mew in Pokemon. When you go into Cinnabar Island and you go into the destructed place, there's notes about Mew and Mewtwo and how Mewtwo was born.
All right.
Because the idea is that like Mewtwo's born from Mew's cells, so he was like Mewtwo's like a test
Yeah.
tube Pokemon. Yeah, yeah. So there was definitely
Mm.
stuff there, and I've definitely remember seeing sprites. But we can confirm here
Yes.
that he wasn't
That
under a van though.
no, he definitely wasn't under the van. No. But I just that's one that I think is like it's a really famous rumor. I remember I vaguely remember looking up like YouTube. I think it was around the time that I was trying to find out how to get Mew.
Mhm.
It's kind of coming back to me now as I'm thinking about it. But and there was loads of YouTube videos on Mew under the truck at the SSN. And what I think is cool about that is like I can remember talking about that with friends and people in school, but then there was people over in the States who heard the same rumor, so it would have had
Sure.
to have traveled word of mouth, which I think is just really cool. Like, and it
Yeah, it's
makes
insane.
everything's just so much more mysterious back then. Like, remember when you'd hear about like even a secret level or something here? I remember
Oh,
there was a
stop.
guy in school who told us that his brother, of course, his brother got it. He didn't do it, but his brother got to. So in Super Mario World, when you get to the second map, Donut Plains,
I do.
and you finish the first level, and you can go up to the left, and you're in like a cave, and you complete that, and then you go over and you get the green button. So you hit the green button that gives you
Sure.
feathers and it flies out. He said that there was another level after that and he knew this secret way, but his brother told him not to tell any of us or not to tell anyone how to get there because it was a
Yeah,
secret
yeah,
and
yeah.
people weren't allowed to know.
So he was
It's
he was
like,
creating his own popularity. He's like he knows the
yeah.
secret, but he won't reveal it.
Yeah.
Oh my god. You know what's
Oh
mad
man.
though as well? What kind of blows my mind is there's ones that turned out to be true, which
Yeah.
like are insane because like there's things that like I like they're so hidden and some developer went to the effort of actually doing a whole Easter egg. Like it's so interesting to there's so many Grand Theft Auto Easter eggs, because Easter eggs
Mm.
is a really interesting topic in of itself because Easter
Oh
eggs are
totally,
kind of
yeah.
true rumors that you find in the games. But I
Yeah.
remember in Sonic Adventure 2, now it was one of my favorite games of all time, Sonic Adventure, because I love the butt rock metal tunes in it.
Oh yeah.
Right? So there's like, rolling around at the speed of sound, all that stuff.
Yeah, yeah, love
But
it.
there was they had emblems in that game. So like if you completed them, kind of like stars in Super Mario 64, but just in a different way. And
Right.
I don't know, was there a full 120? But so if you did all of them, it would unlock Green Hill Zone in Sonic Adventure 2, which was like a 3D Green Hill Zone
No way.
from the original. So it was like the
Deadly.
complete thing. And that was real. Like I never
Oh
got
yeah.
there because I never had the tenacity to do that. But I remember like hearing that rumor as a kid.
Yeah.
And then only a couple of years ago, like looking it up on YouTube to see if it's still there. And that's kind of the contrast. Do you know what I mean? It's like when you're a kid and the magic of like
Yeah, yeah.
not knowing if it's real or not was
Yes.
amazing for
The
it.
mystery of it all, like
Yeah, exactly. So it's like you couldn't look it up. You just had to take people for their word.
Yeah, you
It's
did.
the same way, like, if someone used to call you and be like, "I'll see you at this place at 3 o'clock." You just had to fucking be there. There was no way. Like, if you don't show up, you're like, well,
Yeah, what can you do? Yeah, fucking
yeah.
hell. I actually remember another one that I remember hearing, and it's not outrageous now, but I can remember when I first heard it, I was like, no way, that's not real. You're taking the piss. And I remember one of the lads in school saying that he had a Sega Master System and he could play a game without putting a game in, and I was like, nah, you're talking. No, you could. That's not possible.
Is the
And
Sega
then,
Master System, sorry, before the Sega Mega Drive? That's like
yeah,
the
before
first
the
one.
Mega Drive
So this is
Genesis.
the NES, like, of
Yeah,
the...
yeah.
Okay.
This is the first one, as far as I'm aware. Yeah, the Master System was the first main Sega console that I'm aware of.
Sure.
But I remember, so he's like, yeah, you can plug it in, and I was like, nah, there's no fucking. And I couldn't remember the game, and then I remember playing, one of the kids that I used to hang out with in my estate, and I was telling him, he was like, yeah, I've a Sega Master System, you can do that, and I was like, what? You're a joke. And he's like, yeah, come on, come around, and he was all casual about it, and I was like, what the fuck? This is
You're
insane.
like, he's actually bringing me over like this. It's the one fucking human being. He's going to confirm their bullshit to me in front of them.
And sure enough, we went around. He turned it. He has a Sega Master System sitting there. It's I don't know if you can picture in your head, like it has a little sliding drawer over it. So normally you slide the drawer back, you put the cartridge in.
Mm-hmm.
So he took whatever game was, I can't remember what game was in it. He took it out and he turned it on, and up pops Alex Kidd.
And was it Alex Kidd that he took out?
No, it wasn't. I don't know whatever it was, but I know.
So he took out a random game, and Alex Kidd just came up instead.
He turned it on, and Alex Kidd is built into the Sega Master System.
Off.
And I know I have one because my brother actually bought me one as a Christmas present a few years ago, a Sega Master System. So I actually have one with Alex the Kid built into it.
That is insane. And was that on all of them?
I'm fairly sure you could get a Master System with Sonic the Hedgehog 1 built into it.
So it's just
Sonic the Hedgehog.
The memory.
Yeah, it's actually in the console.
That's
so
wild.
You turn it on without a game in it, and the game fires up. And I can remember that just like I remember the first time I heard it, I was like, "There's no fucking way. This is absolutely ridiculous." And then when I saw it, it just totally blew my mind. I couldn't believe it. And what a game as well, Alex the Kid. I don't know if you ever played it.
It's not the one with the balloons, is it?
Yeah. I'm pretty sure you punch balloons out or something, but you play like rock paper scissors and all when you're fighting a boss. It's rock paper scissors. I find it to be a difficult game, but the music is deadly and all.
You kind of unlocked a memory there for me, because when me and my pals used to come around and play games, do you know, like when you're talking about the PlayStation 1 or you're talking about the GameCube or something like that, right?
Yeah.
You remember that, like, you could open up the disc and take the disc out and the game would still run?
Yeah, because you had like 4 discs for certain games, didn't you?
Well,
or something like that.
Like, it depends with it. So, like, what happens is, like, the game would, like, load up to where it was. So, like, if you were playing, like, I remember, I don't know how it worked maybe in GTA, but I remember, like, we'd rent a game, and then when you have to give it back, we'd be like, all right, just don't turn off the console, and you can still play a part of the game.
What?
Do you know what I mean?
No way.
Yeah. So, like, even with Super Smash Brothers, but if you went then into a loading part, so, like, if you had to load a part of the game, so I think for something like Vice City, say, right, you know, a part of that world is preloaded. So I don't know, does that go onto, like, the RAM of the console? But, you know, it only reads a part of the disc to load the game, and then it reads a section and loads it in. But you could take out the disc, and then you could still play. So as long as you didn't turn off the console, you could play them, which was cool.
That's class. I know, like, Final Fantasy. Now, I haven't played Final Fantasy 7, but I remember watching one of my mates play it years ago, and I think that has like 4 discs, doesn't it? Aren't there a couple of PS1 games and stuff like that have
those like JRPGs, big ones where you had to switch the disc out when you got to a certain point, because the memory card, I guess, would like save your data and then you could continue on for that game or something. But yeah, there was for sure.
Yeah.
Tomb Raider even had like a few discs, I think.
Oh, did it?
On the PC, it definitely did.
I never really got into Tomb Raider until I actually played one of the more modern ones. And
there were reboot ones, yeah, and
it was really, really good.
Yeah, it is.
Really enjoyed it. Like
the original. Oh my god, such a funny story. The original used to scare the fuck out of me.
Why?
Like, so bad. No, that game was scary, man. My sister. So I was saying the last day how like my first console was a PS1 N64, but I was gaming actually before that. I talked about the Game Boy Pocket, but there was PC gaming time, right?
Yeah.
So like and that's why I'm remembering Tomb Raider, because it was like a double album case, like it was like a Michael Jackson double album box. So you had the
The
those
big
cases with
boxes,
the
yeah,
multiple
yeah.
discs, and
Yeah,
they
I know
always
them, yeah.
crack and break, and they're impossible to keep. But I remember. Do you remember? Have you ever played the original Tomb Raider?
I have played it again years ago when I was in like primary school. I remember playing it.
So this must have traumatized. I don't know why it traumatized me. This is like Uncle Diddles who was running after me in this game. Do you remember there was a training mode where you're going around the mansion, and like fucking Alfred the waiter was this
I've
old
seen that,
pixelated
yeah.
man, and he would follow you everywhere, and you could lock him in the fridge.
Yeah,
So you would
I
open up the
remember
fridge,
that,
you would lock him in, but he scared, because I couldn't play the real game because I couldn't shoot the tigers and the dinosaurs, and that game was wild. And it was like tank controls. It was hard. It was too hard for me. So I used to just mess around in that area, and I'd be minding my own business, and you'd turn around and you'd be like, hello. And I'd be like, what the fuck? Like, get away from me. So that used to kill me. So I used to lock him in the freezer. People will remember locking, I don't know what his name is, but the old man with the serving tray that used to follow you around.
And did it rattle? Did it shake and make like he was shaking like cups of tea or something he was carrying on it? Was that,
No,
or was
he was
that
a
just...
fucking ninja. He was dead silent. He'd pop up behind you. Fucking be like, hello, Laura. Like, what is happening? He was just scuttling along. You couldn't hear him. You didn't know where he was coming from. Oh my God. You are unlocking memory after memory. I'm sorry for going. Dude, do you remember the cheat code rumors for Lara Croft where you could get her naked? Oh my fucking God. Dude, the drama over this.
Are you
the
serious?
developers had to formally come out in a gaming magazine and say this doesn't exist, because
Are you serious?
I think there was some news headlines or some rumors about it that it was like, do we have to recall the game, or parents being worried about it? I mean, those polygon pointy bad boys, the Madonna tab, fully released in all their glory. So you imagine, like, I don't know, where people like fucking like mashing up, down, left, right, like lad in hand. Come on.
Oh, fuck.
Getting ready to go. Excuse me. But however, there was a cheat that you could type in that was real. That was like, I don't know, up, down, triangle, and she'd be jumping backwards and forwards. She'd do a backflip, and then she'd explode in midair. Like,
what? No way.
Swear on my life, that's real. That I can confirm.
And die, game over, or lose a life or whatever.
I don't know past that part, because I only know this stuff. I haven't experienced it myself. I wasn't rocking the old.
You heard it through the grapevine. It was a rumor. You heard it through the grapevine.
Exactly.
Oh man, I remember reading. I'm just thinking of like other kind of rumors and stuff like that, and ones that were real. Like, so the Alex the Kid in the Math System was real, right? But I remember reading the magazine once, and I saw South Park was coming out for the N64. I know there's a couple of them, but I think it was the first.
It's supposed to be trash, I think.
I had it when I was a kid,
and
I
can
remember it being real. Like,
I should have held my tongue there before shitting on your childhood's favorite game.
No, that's all good. It's all good. I do remember being really dark and fucking dreary though, but I was reading a magazine anyway, and I remember seeing it was an orange South Park cart. So the Nintendo 64 cartridge was orange. There was a couple of different coloured ones. There was like the black Turok one, and I think there was a Tony Hawk one, which was blue. One. And there was a gold Ocarina, and I think Majora's Mask. There might have been, I think there was a red Spider-Man one, maybe.
Oh, and a yellow Donkey Kong one.
Oh yeah, there was too. Yeah, there was. So I remember seeing this orange cartridge in the magazine, and I was like, oh shit, yeah. And I was getting the game, so I don't know, I saved up the money or whatever. So I went down to Golden Discs in Dunleary, because that's where I went down to get most of my games. And
back when they sold games,
back when they sold games. And I remember I specifically said to the guy, I'm looking to get the South Park with the orange cart. Do you have it? And he was like, yeah, there it is. This is it. It's in the box. And I was like, really? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, there it is, whatever. And he sold to me. And so I left, and I don't know why, but I didn't look until I got home. Oh, no. And I got fucking home, and it was the grey card, and I was raging, man. I was raging, but whatever happened, like I didn't go back down and say, you didn't give me the orange card. I had to just accept it, and
I think particularly at that age as well, you're like, you don't feel
You don't
like
have
you
to,
have
yeah.
any autonomy to go back and be
Of
like,
course,
hey,
yeah, yeah.
you just, it's another one of those kind of cry in your room moments. And then when you turn on
Yeah.
the game and you realize it's a dreary piece of shit, you must have even been more heartbroken. I got a grey cartridge with a grey game.
Now, it wasn't total shit, man. I have
Were you
some
throwing
fond memories.
snowballs around the place or something in it? Was it
Yeah,
just a
yeah.
snowball
And there was like
simulator?
turkeys chasing you or something
Oh my
fucking
god! But that
crazy.
was the whole game, right? You were throwing snowballs at turkeys.
But no, you had weapons, I think. I actually have. That's one game that I haven't revisited. So anything that's in my head now is from when I was a teenager.
But you see,
playing it.
I
can't lie.
love that, right? Like, this is why I love these conversations, because like you're actually talking about your very like poorly narrated vague memory of what happened like 20 years ago. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but look, so recently I was looking. Someone was talking about different colored carts, and I commented on something saying I heard about an orange cart, and they were like, that existed, that was real, and it was in a magazine, but it never came out. So it was they had it was released in magazines as a promotional thing, and they were going to release it as an
And
orange
it didn't
cart, but it
happen.
never manifested it, and they never released it.
That's
So
like, sorry, go on.
so basically, I did see it. It was real in the
Sure.
magazine, but it never actually came to fruition. So it never happened, and it was a grey card the whole time, and a grey game.
I love the absolute asshole as well, who was like,
Yeah.
like, we don't even need to look at it, man. He's like a magician. He's like, that's what you want. Totally, dude. There was not like he was getting commission, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Oh my god, but that's an interesting point though, because I was talking last time about how I thought Pokemon Stadium was a 3D Pokemon Game Boy game.
Yeah.
And in the magazines, I fused the idea of Pokemon Snap and Stadium together. So, like, I just made up my own narrative of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
But you bring up an interesting point, though, about, stuff that, like, you see in something, that's, like, advertised to you as something, and then you buy it, and it's a complete lie. Like, I remember they were supposed to have, like, did you ever play Conker's Bad Fur Day?
Yeah, I did actually. I played it only a couple of years ago for the first time.
Great game.
Oh,
I mean,
brilliant. Loved it.
Like it's hilarious, the cutscenes, all that. But there was supposed to be a second one, and there was like, E3, which is like the gaming conventions. There was whole like videos, there was whole trailers made for it. The whole lot. And like stuff like that gets cancelled. Like again, kind of like, I mean, you're just starting. Like that game came out in 2000. I think it was one of the last N64 games. So
all right.
Or the way like Star Fox Adventures for the GameCube.
I know. That's the where you can get out. You can get out of the.
It's like it isn't even. Yeah, it's not like Lilac Wars or whatever. But like, that was like a completely different game. Like that was made as a dinosaur game, and they just patched Star Fox over it to sell it.
Super Mario Bros. 2 and Doki Doki Panic. That's mental, isn't it? Like they, the one that came out on Mario All Stars was Lost Levels, and that was the original one. And fuck me, that's a difficult game. Have you played the Lost Levels?
So my Mario, like the games I've played, I have played Super Mario World, but I haven't played before. So
right,
I'm gonna shame myself here.
No, man, look,
ring the bell.
That means you've loads of great games to try out. Super Mario Bros. 3 is my absolute favorite, so I'd highly recommend you check that out.
What makes that though what makes that your favorite?
So now nostalgia does play a huge part in it. I can just remember playing it so much, but the game itself is absolutely incredible. There's so much in it. So there's 8 different worlds as far as I remember. Each world is totally different to the next. There's like, and one of them is like a giant world. I think it's World 4. And so like you're playing the game as normal, but then when you get to World 4, everything, like they're all giant and you're just normal size, and it's so much fun. Then there's loads of different suits. So there's, like Raccoon Mario.
I do. Tanuki Mario? Is it?
Tanuki Mario is.
Yeah.
There's Mario with in the Tanuki suit. Yeah, no, that's a different one. So there's the leaf gives you the Raccoon Mario. Why am I saying raccoon? Weird. Raccoon City. I don't know why. It sounds weird, but anyway.
We're on the road to Raccoon City.
But there's loads of different suits. There's like a frog suit, the Hammer Brothers suit, and then just the different maps. And then here's another rumor. It's just after hit me. So that one of the worlds is like a water world, and you have the little overworld map, and you choose levels. That's kind of the way it is, similar to Super Mario World. So it's the
Sure.
same kind of thing. And there's one where you can, I think if you beat the Hammer Brothers and you get a hammer and you break a block, you can get onto an island, or you can get onto a little boat, and it sails onto an island. And I can remember that, like, that fucking blew my mind that you could do that, and it was a
And it
couple of
was
little
real.
oh yeah, it was, yeah, it was a couple of little levels. And I can
Yeah.
remember me and my brother Aiden playing it and doing it and getting it. But I do remember someone saying that, like, there was another island and you could sail to another world, and there was a hidden world, and I'm fairly sure it wasn't real, like, it was just but I do remember someone saying that, like, oh yeah, you can keep going if you go up and blah blah blah. And I was like trying
Yeah.
it for ages, and like, yeah, I can't get there because it didn't exist. It was just a rumor.
But
But
it's like,
that game, Keith, sorry man, that game is so good. I'd highly recommend you give it a
I
shot.
might maybe I should stream it next. Maybe
Oh,
that's be my next
totally,
game I can
yeah,
slap in,
yeah,
because like I'm
absolutely.
looking for something, like, because I'm just after playing all the goddamn Souls games, and I kind of want
Oh
to,
yeah.
after a day, 5 hours of doing that a day, you kind of want to go home and just be like, well, I don't want to go on anymore.
Yeah, those games are
Yeah.
mental difficult, aren't they?
So yeah, no,
But
that would be a cool thing to do.
oh, totally, yeah, yeah. It's so cool, and just there's so much to it. And I can remember having like the sticker book and all at the time. Remember, there was like, I think the brand was like Merlin. So I remember having like the Super Mario sticker book, and also there was a Street Fighter sticker book, Street Fighter 2 sticker
Sure.
book as well. I remember getting that, and that game just brings me back to all these things. And then within each world, there's all these little secrets that pop up. So there's like hidden ships, like Bowser's ship and stuff like that. And then there's all like Bowser's kids, like
Yeah.
Ludwig. They're named after all
Sure.
the composers and stuff
Because
like
you
that.
see, I've played I played a lot of Super Mario Maker and stuff. So like
Ah, yeah, yeah.
I have like experiences of a lot of the aesthetic of it, like,
Yeah.
a lot of the enemies in it.
Yeah,
So
yeah. But it's such a great game. But yeah, I was talking Super Mario The Lost Levels, and fuck me, that is an insanely difficult game. And I was watching videos on why, and apparently like they changed it, Doki Doki Panic, to Super Mario Bros. 2 because it was just so incredibly difficult that you're like, Western audiences won't be able to
sure, they won't
like
buy it.
get their, they just won't be able to get their head around it. And also it did look the exact same, as almost identical to Super Mario Bros. 1.
Yeah,
So
but
it's
wasn't
really
there,
similar.
like, with Super Mario Bros. 2 though? Because I remember they brought them out in the Game Boy Advance, didn't they? Didn't they like kind of re-release them somehow in the Game Boy or Game Boy Advance?
Yeah.
So I remember. But like, is Super Mario Bros. 2 where you're picking up like vegetables out of the ground and stuff?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's the one that was Doki Doki Panic. I'm fairly sure it's called Doki Doki Panic. That's the one that and they just like copy and pasted
Yeah, no, I get you.
kind of Mario World onto it, and that's where all these kind of random characters came from.
Do you know what I loved as well? Because you remind me of it when you talk about the stickers, is like the guides. You could buy like really beautiful guides, like the piggyback ones. I remember getting.
I don't know.
And like,
know that one.
so like there would be like, I remember, because Wind Waker for me, like Zelda, if you're talking about like Zelda games, Wind Waker for me, even though I know it has its issues, was like at the right time, the right place. I think I was like 12. I
Nice, yeah.
was in like 5th or 6th class or something. You were kind of at that age where you had all the free time to play it.
Oh,
And like
yeah.
that whole cell shading world, the sailing from place to place, but then getting an art book with it was just
nice,
like,
yeah.
like, and you have all the concept art that comes with it. And I still love getting books for that kind of reason.
The players' guides are so great. I actually have one of the other things, I think I'd mentioned the last time, that like my prized possession is a boxed Pokemon Yellow that I still have from my childhood.
Yeah.
But I still have the like player's guide to Pokemon Red, Blue, Yellow as well. I still have that book,
cool.
and it's full of Ken Sugimori art.
Yeah, I fucking love it, man. I was actually looking up some of that the last time after we were talking about it, because like, I just love it for sure. I'm trying to think what other rumors were slapping around at the day. Another interesting one that was true that I couldn't believe was Yoshi on top of the Mario 64 castle.
Yeah.
You get 120, and then the cannon would open outside, and you can fly up, and he'd be like, "Good work for nothing. Peach doesn't love you anyway." It's like, right,
and then he just fucks off and leaves you like loads of lives. You're like, "Oh fuck, I finished the game."
Mario gets a kiss on his big bulbous nose, and Peach flakes off, and he's like, "Mamma mia, why?" So calm, man.
I think now, again, I might be wrong here, but I think I was watching something recently, and you were talking, and it was talking about games that were made, like Star Fox 2 came out on the SNES Classic,
Yes.
because like that was
Yeah.
like totally made, and they never released it. But I think
Mhm.
they were trying to do something like that with the N64, but then they released it on the 3DS. Is it or is it the DS? Is there Super Mario 64 DS or something, and you can
There,
play as
yeah,
Luigi and
you can. So I don't know. There was supposed to be a disc drive for the Nintendo 64.
yeah, yeah,
So
yeah,
there
yeah.
was that whole thing, and then
Ah, yes,
I think it came out. So it was like literally a Nintendo 64 sat on another Nintendo
yeah,
64,
mm,
and there was going to be some disc games. I think like they're really valuable. Like if you're a collector,
yeah, yeah,
because
yeah,
like they did, I think, come out. Or else they had prototypes, but I know they had like 3 games that could work with them. They had an inbuilt timer, they had memory, so you could play. I don't know, like, do you know the way Animal Crossings on the GameCube ended up being like a day and night cycle? I think
yeah.
stuff like that was being
All
made
right,
for that stuff, and then there
that's
was a
cool.
lot of things that was made for the disc drive that ended up being moved to the GameCube. So
Ah,
like,
right, right.
so I think there was a lot of crossover that way. Um,
Does
but
Mario
yeah,
was there a Mario Paint going to be on that
I think so.
N64 disc drive?
I think
Are they
so.
making a
I
Paint
like.
game?
I can't remember entirely, but I think there's definitely something to do with that. Um,
But
but
yeah,
yeah,
they're so I do know I can picture the big like the thing that the N64 sits onto, and the discs, but they look like cartridges. They're like grey.
yeah. I don't
They're
know.
not.
I wish I could remember it, but I just know it was one of those things. What also, do you know what's fucking insane? And it blew my mind. You wanna hear something that blew my
Yeah,
mind?
yeah,
Two
yeah,
things, right?
yeah,
So I had a moment a couple of years ago when I used to take photos for Instagram when that was still a viable thing to do. Uh, and I was looking at my Super Nintendo.
yeah.
And I was looking at the fact, and now I swear to God, this was only my own realization. Maybe people knew this the whole time. Do you know the way the Super Nintendo came from a combination of PlayStation and Nintendo?
Yeah.
Like, so, like, it was PlayStation who went into development to create something with Nintendo, and
Mm.
there was the Super Nintendo, but then, or sorry, the PlayStation 1 was kind of a mix. There was some hybrid between Sony and Nintendo
Yeah,
working
I've
together.
seen that. Yeah, I've seen that floating around.
And then I was just there and I was like, okay, they obviously separated, it didn't work out or whatever. And there's like 1 or 2 consoles worth of fucking million that you can buy or something.
Yeah, yeah.
But I was looking at the colors on the SNES and I was like, it's the red, green, blue. What were the 4 colors again? Do I have one next to me?
Red, green, blue, and fuck.
Yeah, but anyway, it doesn't matter. It's the
Yeah,
same color combination and order that's in the PlayStation
yellow,
logo.
yellow. Sorry.
Yellow. So it's the exact same. So then I was looking at my PS1, I was looking at the logo, and it's like those colors are the exact same
Oh
order, the
yeah,
exact same thing.
fucking
So I was like, I
what?
had a mind blowing
Holy,
situation.
that could blow my fucking mind, man. Oh my god, yeah,
So I was
that
like,
is insane.
yeah. So because
Oh,
like,
I'm
so it's
just
like that's
picturing
where
it
the
now.
colors came from, and that's like the
Oh,
remnants of what's left over between them.
oh
Now,
man,
I
that
mean,
is
unless it's an
crazy.
insane coincidence, but I really don't think it is because of the
That
exact. Like,
is
we're talking
crazy.
like if you were a graphic designer looking at those color palette colors, like they are like the exact ones, do you know?
Yeah.
So that
Oh
blew my
man,
fucking mind,
that
and it
is
just
not. You
reminded me
just blew my fucking mind.
there.
Holy shit.
Another thing as well, if you have a PS2, this was on TikTok, but it was another thing I have. Do you know the original PS2s?
Yeah.
Do you know that we can put them sideways or vertical?
Yeah, and you can turn the little.
Yeah, the little logo thing. I don't
Oh
know. I
shit!
think that's
Sorry, is that where you were going with it?
yeah. Thanks for ruining the
Oh,
story.
bollocks! Sorry, man. Sorry.
No, you're all good.
Yeah, I
Um,
do. I do remember you could turn it around, but I have to address one of the fucking biggest things that's the biggest rumors, the biggest Nintendo rumor that has
mm.
wrecked my head for a long, long time, and it's Pokemon fucking Snap. So
Let's do it.
Pokemon Snap, for all you listeners out there, was released on the Nintendo 64. 64. How many Pokemon are in Pokemon Snap, Keith?
You would hope and expect 64.
Yes, you would. There's 60 fucking 3.
It's
Why?
like why? I love this
Yeah.
is like such like like a fixation over it because it's you start thinking about like because I know I remember you did a video about this on YouTube and this is why I knew about it because on
Right.
your YouTube channel you were talking about it And it's just that, like, but where is the last one? Like, you are like, Mom, where is it?
But like back then, so before the internet, if you didn't have a guide,
Mm.
and you would be totally convinced that there's going to be 64 Pokemon on there. The numbers are so close. So I'm convinced that people would have spent years would have spent
When you're talking about people, Nisha, are you talking about yourself still going into the back room like, where is it?
I've been found out. Fuck. I'm still convinced. I don't care, even though I've read. I'm fucking convinced there's one in there somewhere.
I'm still convinced of you. I'd say this 151 Pokemon malarkey is a whole pile of shite as well. Nisha, for hours every day, has been walking up and down Cerulean City with his golden nuggets.
Oh, fucking hell. No, there is, man. There has to be. Like, why is there 63? Why? Tell me, please.
I don't know. Is the honest answer to you.
No, like, I think it's literally something down to space, I'm assuming. Or I'd imagine that's what it is. Because I do remember talking about it before, asking people. And they were
but still, like, what you mean, though? Like, could they not have cut a few trees out of a level and fucking shagged in, like, a fucking, I don't know what wasn't in there?
I don't know what wasn't in there. For some reason, Diglett, but no, Diglett's there. I don't know, but like,
did you ever see the picture of Diglett where, like, what he looks like underneath the ground, and he's a big sexy lad with like a thong on? Oh,
damn,
man,
sexy Diglett.
You know, there's some people out there, man, who that floats their boat.
Oh god! But that, like, I'm telling you, I'm going conspiracy theory here. I'm convinced there's 64 Pokemon in Pokemon Snap, and
you think it's just something that, because there's still stuff that people are finding to this day, games, which is like so exciting. Like, I'm just thinking about, like, you know, Resident Evil 4 is a game. I was actually just chatting to my buddy about it on his podcast, just kind of briefly, because we used to play. We used to actually, I don't know, was I saying this, but we like, I always liked the idea of kind of streaming or content creation. We used to actually put a camcorder in front of our CRT TV. Was I saying that to you the last time?
You had said it to me before. Yeah.
And so, like, we were recording, like, you know, all our stuff and doing it, which was cool.
That's mad.
Yeah. So they can never see the light of day. Ireland back then with two 13-year-olds, not very PC at all.
Please show me in private.
I will. I'll send it on to you. Do you want to get cancelled?
Yeah.
Two 12-year-olds getting cancelled. But the reason I was saying that is they've only, like, speedrunners have only recently found that like 20, I don't know when that game came out, almost 20 years later, that there's a picture of one of the developers, like, locked behind a house, like a JPEG of him just in there. Do you know? So it's stuff like that. I mean, I know, but going back to, like, 64 Pokemon, you know, it's got to be there.
Could be there.
Like, I know what you're doing tonight all night.
You better believe it. Right, we're going to cut this short. I've got some N64 to play.
And it's not remotely sexual.
I might be there with people.
Just sitting there with Cheeto dust all over you, like, absolutely. It's like, I know it's here.
But like, that's just, I just think that's a cool kind of, because you can be almost certain that back then someone was saying, I caught this Pokemon in Pokemon Snap that wasn't there, and that would lead people to believe it was there. And once they caught them all, they think, no, I heard someone said they caught this Pokemon, and it just kind of, it adds to the mystery. I think that's one of the things I love about retro games, and what I loved about gaming back then was it was magical, and there was so much mystery to certain games when you didn't know. And
that comes into play with, like, your childhood imagination, though, as well. Like, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Because it's an innocent time, and, like, you know, you're thinking about Christmas, you're thinking about all those things that, like, create that kind of magic that's in the air, and stuff like that. Those type of rumors add to it. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it is a part of that. It is like that sense of mystery, wonder, and adventure that comes with playing that stuff when you're a kid, and particularly when you're sharing those stories in a class and everyone's trying to work on it and figure it out.
Do you even remember, like you'd be playing a game and you'd see a part in the map or a part in a level, and you'd be like, you have to be able to get there. Surely there's, like, a platform that looks like you can get to it. surely
Sure.
you can get there. And you'd be trying hours and hours and hours, and it's just a random platform that you can't get to, but your imagination might run wild and be like, you have to be able to get there, you have to be able to get
Or sometimes when you glitch in a game, like, you know,
there.
you can
Yeah.
still glitch in those old games. Like, you know, there's people speed running Ocarina of Time on the original hardware, doing like backflips, teleporting all over the place.
Yeah.
But like, I like when stuff like that used to happen in a game. Like when me and my friends were over, like we used to love like just watching each other finish the games. You know what I mean? So like, I'm like, I go to your house this weekend. I don't have the game you're playing. I just want to watch you play. You know,
Yeah.
there was Wario Land in the GameCube, or like
Alright.
TY on, I don't know. There was loads of different games, and like, there's a moment where something weird happened in that. You know, again, you'd be going back to the demon in the cartridge type scenario, but like a glitch or something that would happen in something like that, and you'd be like, it would like. It was almost a joy, like it would blow your mind. You're like, what have we unearthed? You know, like
Yeah.
you would look into it more than it's like, oh, you know, the developer didn't account for you like pressing the A button 600 times. You know what I mean? You little idiot. But like stuff like that, dude. I don't know why this memory is coming to my head, but I have to share it with you.
Yeah.
It's a little bit. It's nostalgic, not so much gaming related.
Right.
What I was thinking about is I remember there used to be people nearly like charging. It's like, do you want me to do the water temple for you in Ocarina of Time? Do you know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
So like, you know, like on the screen, it's like, yeah, I mean, you'd be like, I can't do it. Your man's like, well, you know, for, you know, 2 penguin bars, a couple of cheese strings, a Frube and a Capri Sun, I could be the right guy for you.
That's serious currency.
It is. Oh my god, the Irish delicacies that you'd put in your lunchbox.
Yeah.
Like McCambridge soda bread. I know that was the fancy day. I don't know if you've ever had that.
Yeah.
But so, do you know, so what I did, do you ever remember Beyblades? Dude, this is so cringe. This is the most mortifying story.
Oh yes, hit me. Is that on the Dreamcast?
So Beyblades, it was
no, the things you flick.
spinning
I'm thinking
tops.
of,
Yeah, let it rip.
I'm thinking
you know?
of that rollerblading game in the Dreamcast for some reason. just came to my
Yeah.
head.
That's Beyblades. I don't know. I know there's like, was there 4 years difference between us? So I know maybe, you know, those shows might have passed you by a little bit more. You know, you might have been a bit
Possibly.
older, weren't watching them.
Yeah.
But so they were spinning tops that you would buy in real life. They were lethal.
Yeah,
right.
yeah,
So
yeah.
you put the cord in them, they go into a little arena and they fight. But like they were made of metal and plastic, sharp plastic.
Right.
So I remember I don't know why I said I'd be the guy to, because they used to smash and break a lot.
All right.
So this guy was like, I fixed them. I was like, yeah, I'm a Beyblade technician.
Fuck off.
Whatever, like I was 5th or 6th class, right? So I was like, oh yeah, I'll fix the Beyblade. So one guy's had one of them had smashed, but of course all I did was fucking went home and super glued them all together. Gave it back to him the next day, like holding it very precarious, like don't squeeze that too hard, right? I swear to God, there's 2 lads. He's like, right, let's do it. He's like, let it rip. The thing went into the stadium and fucking combusted. Pieces. And I was there, like, oh fuck. Oh my god, that's like, it's like someone saying selling a car in the second. Oh my god,
I just knocked over my mic. I'm laughing so much.
That's like someone getting into a car after you selling it and all the 4 wheels just fall off it instantly. Oh god, I remember, and he was like, what the fuck? I was like, here's your $5 back, and we won't speak again.
Oh no.
Anyway, sorry for that diversion, but I felt like if I didn't, I feel like people will remember Beyblades fondly and how they used to rip your hands off. The original
really?
ones did. Oh, they were lethal.
I'm thinking. I was when I was in school, it was Pogs was a big thing.
Sure.
Were you playing Pogs in school?
It was like Pokemon cards, Beyblades. There was a bit of Metabots. There was Yu-Gi-Oh. Like there was kind of a mix. But Pogs I do remember, but they weren't really.
And then they had like, so there was the Pog line. You know, it was like the little orange dude, kind of like, I imagine like a Tasmanian devil type guy.
Mm-hmm.
I actually have loads of pictures that I used to draw them all the time. I love Pogs. But then there was like Chubba Chub, you know, the lollipops. They brought out Chubba Chub Pogs. Do you remember that? And like there was always some like cool motherfucker who had like a steel slammer. So you go there with your little plastic slammer and be like, are you playing for keeps? And I'm like, no, fuck off.
Yeah, there's a guy with his steel slammer and you're going in with your like 1950s acorn on a string.
You want to play Conkers?
You're like, my mom didn't leave me.
But that's kind of, and then there was also these things. Now I haven't a clue what they were called or what you did with them, right? But they were like little monster figures, and they're about an inch tall, and you're different colors and stuff like that. I think you used to just like flick them at one another, and they hit off each other.
Oh, how times were simpler.
I fucking love them, man. I love them.
Yeah. So
But
what were they though? Do you have like?
I don't know. I haven't a clue, and I like. I'll have to look it up. I'll have to look.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll do some research and
Do.
I'll bring it back in for another episode. I'll find out what they were, but
Because it isn't like, I mean, I'm like, obviously since we've kind of moved from rumors to being in school, and then from school talking about, you know, like all those different games you had in school
yeah,
as well, it's just
yeah.
like it's a minefield of like, I
Ah,
remember this. Do you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah,
You gotta
yeah,
like get it
yeah.
out.
Oh, but they're like, I tried that. Those little monsters are wrecking my head now. What the fuck are they? But I don't know. I don't know. But right, I think it's about time that I finish my Pokemon Stadium story that I started in
Yes!
episode
Oh my
one.
god!
Yeah.
Okay, full disclosure. Nisha has not told me this story at all, so I'm very
No.
excited.
Now it's not as extravagant, but it's basically about me being an absolute fucking gobshite.
Well, I always love to hear that one story. You know?
So, and it was before it was so I didn't realize like different like so PAL, you know, the PAL NTSC,
Yeah,
different region codes. When I was a kid, that made no sense to me.
sure.
So I didn't like if we had a game in Ireland, you could play it in America. You could play
Can
it
I?
anywhere.
I'm so sorry to
Yeah, no,
pause
go
this, but
for
I'll
it.
just forget it. Sorry. Do you
Go for it.
realize we were playing the worst versions of all the games?
What?
So, like the PAL versions of all the N64 and PS1 games ran at 50 hertz,
Yeah,
which
yeah, they were.
compared, so we were playing a slow motion version of Crash Bandicoot and Mario 64 compared
Yeah,
to what people in America
all
were
the
playing.
60 hertz was it they were playing
Yeah, yeah.
on the
So, like, there was
NTSC.
like, I don't know how much of a difference is, but like, I remember compare like the
Seeing them
like you
side
can
by
finish
side.
the game an extra like hour early. Do you know what I
It's
mean?
fucking mental, isn't
But
it?
anyway, sorry. Go on.
So, right, I was on a holiday in America and I bought a copy of Pokemon Stadium and I bought a copy of Star Wars Episode 1 Pod Racer.
Pod
Thinking,
racing is actually a great game.
oh, what a fantastic game. Absolutely
Mm.
love it. So, thinking, okay, I can bring these home. And I remember playing them in my cousin's house. So, we were staying in my cousin's and he had an N64 and we were playing it in his house and we were playing it and having fun or whatever. And then I went home and I tried to put it into the N64. It wouldn't go into the console properly. And I was like, what's going on here?
Oh, they were a different shape, were they?
And so basically, at the back of the cart is different, and on the inside of the N64 is a little bit different.
Mhm.
And I was like, it has to fit in, it has to fit in. And I kind of, you could see inside, and I could see there's like these two little pieces of plastic, whatever. So basically, what I did was,
Oh no! Oh no!
I
Oh no!
got,
I know what you're gonna do.
I got a knife, right? Now, not a sharp knife. I got a butter knife, the softest knife you could possibly get, and I hacked that motherfucking game apart.
Oh my god!
So I basically like cut chunks out of the game,
Oh
so
my
it would
god!
sit into my N64. And then, so I finally did it and I put it in and it doesn't fucking work. It won't
Oh
play
yeah.
on it.
So,
It wouldn't
so
play.
little Nisha found out that there's probably a reason that mass murdering a Nintendo 64 cartridge is not the way forward if it doesn't fit in.
Oh fuck! It's not bad enough I cut up the boxes like I was saying in the last episode. Now I'm fucking hacking away at the games, and it didn't work. But here's something that I did recently. I found out what you can do, and I think it's really really cool.
Mhm.
Because somehow now I can't remember how this game came into my collection, but I have an NTSC version of Smash Bros on the N64. Yeah,
Sure.
and I wanted to play it. So what I read that you could get a Japanese, so an NTSC-J N64,
Mhm.
and if you open it up, there's just two little plastic kind of pegs. You chop them off, and you can play American NTSC games and Japanese NTSC games on the
Okay.
Japanese console. So that's what I did. I chopped them off, and then I could play Smash Bros on it. So eventually, I got around to hacking up another console, but it actually worked this time.
Okay, so wait. How many N64s do you have? Did you have a Japanese one?
No. This is only recently, so within the last couple
Okay.
of years. It wasn't back then. No, jeez, no.
Okay, so you haven't changed much. You are still
No.
massacring all your.
Yeah.
All your... You know what I don't remember though? Why was okay? Like there was the same with DVDs. There was like 4 or 5 regions, and now
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure most of that is gone. I think.
Yeah. I'm
But
fairly
why
sure.
did
Yeah.
it exist in the first place? Do we?
I have no clue. Maybe it
That,
was it something to do with rights or taxes
or
or
maybe people not
something
trying, like, if I don't know, maybe like people
piracy.
trying or importing it, because I
Mm.
know like piracy on the Dreamcast and stuff was rampant because it was
Yeah, yeah,
literally a fucking CD that people were burning.
yeah. On the you could do that with the PS1, couldn't you? You could chip it or
I know
something
the
like that.
PS1 had like one of the big reasons the Dreamcast failed, and to me I think it's one of the most amazing consoles. It's still one of my favorites,
Mm.
even though the library is pretty small. Is obviously because the PS2 came out shortly afterwards with the DVD player, and the DVD
Yeah,
player was like the one of the big reasons that sold so well. But also because the piracy was so insanely
right.
easy to do on the Dreamcast. Where I think remember the PS1 discs were black. Some
Yes,
of them were like the
yes,
back of them are
yes. I
black. I
do. Yeah,
think there was something to do with the colors. And I remember the early PS2 ones were like blue.
yeah. They were. Yeah.
So I think that was something to do to try and stop that, or else it was just a designer thing. I don't know. It was a fashion thing, but I'm pretty sure I remember reading something to do with that. Um, but yeah, and that's a whole other day's conversation. Piracy, crazy
Yeah,
games, copies.
yeah. But actually, and here's the thing. Now I'm fairly sure I'm right here, but the Game Boy is region free, and that came out in what, like 1989. So way before like region locks were still going into what, the early 2000s, maybe, with DVDs.
Yeah, I wonder is it something that
And
came in because videotapes couldn't possibly be region locked. Well, I suppose if you can do a Nintendo
yeah, no,
64 cartridge, is VHS region locked?
I think like American videos, because I have a vague memory of
Because you feel like with
one of my
tape, like
dad's.
surely it just reads it, you know?
Yeah, but I think now, I think that one of my dad's friends brought back a Ren and Stimpy video from America, and we tried to watch it and couldn't watch it. I like now.
Did
I'm
it go into the
again.
VHS
Now,
player?
like my
Yeah.
memory is telling me that no, it didn't. No, it didn't.
So
It didn't
I took
fit.
the Ren and Stimpy VHS down to Cerulean City, and oh, I feel like that's our first meme, man. That's
Yeah,
our first
yeah.
meme. Like that's it now. Just a picture of you. Wait, can I ask a favor? If anyone's listening to this, please.
Oh.
And I'm so sorry for ripping the piss, but it's so worth it. If
Totally.
someone could just get a picture of Nisha in the background of Cerulean City, just with thumbs up or something, I would be so happy. And it's
I
like
love that.
anytime you're not sure of something, it's like took it to Cerulean City. Oh man.
Oh, fucking hell, man. But yeah, that's the extent of my retro rumors, and that's my story of absolutely fucking up a poor Pokemon Stadium card.
Oh, I love that though. I
I
mean,
really.
because I think some of the responses, a lot of responses I got that obviously broke people's heart. A good few of my friends were like, hysterically laughing. Like John, I was talking to John, and he said he was in tears over the fact that like you were just the image of you sitting on your bed with the Game Boy cartridge, and then like your mom or was it your gran who got
My
it for you at
mum
the
and
time?
my granny, yeah, came
Just
in.
walking in, be like, "What's wrong with you?" And it's like, "Hey, get over there to play it." That was golden. And then I think,
Oh.
me puncturing holes with my Pokemon cards.
Oh, yeah.
I think I got a lot of like, yeah, there's no excuses for that.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah. Well,
right.
man, what do you think? Should we end things there, or?
I suppose. Look, we'll end while the going's good. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
We'll
I
keep you
think that
diddling and
was.
fiddling.
Yeah, I think we went through some pretty good rumors there, and so before we close it out, is there anything you want to say about? Again, I'm still, now I might be harping on here a bit, but I'm still blown away by the outrageous response that we got from the first episode. Like, it's not like it was a fucking global success, and it's fucking,
No.
but
But I mean,
like,
it's like
just the nice messages, man.
I think we have
The
like,
nice messages.
around 150 listens or something, and that was like,
That's insane to
that
me.
was far beyond any of
Yeah,
our expectations. So
yeah,
we're really really happy that you enjoyed it. Hopefully it keeps like unlocking those sweet memories, and please tell us all about them because
yeah.
you're gonna give us ideas, and hopefully we can have some guests on in the future or something like that. That would be fun as
Absolutely, yeah,
well.
yeah.
So
And
yeah,
give us some rumors. Give us some rumors. What are the rumors
do
you heard?
that would be our question. That's
Yeah,
the question we can put underneath. What rumors did you hear growing up, you big
yeah.
idiot?
So, if people want to find you outside the podcast, Keith, where do they go?
You can find me at
Yes.
twitch.tv/Steamy_streamers. I am currently playing a bit of Sekiro, which is breaking my heart, a bit of Fall Guys, and a bit of Rocket League and stuff like that. And Steamy Streamers, you'll find me on Instagram and Twitter and TikTok and all those things.
What happened to Indiana Jones? Did you finish
I
that?
finished it. Oh my god,
Oh,
we need to have
man.
a whole episode. So I very quickly I played Indiana Jones, The Emperor's Tomb on the original Xbox, and it took me 2 whole years to play it. It was very difficult for me. 2 whole years. It was. We'll talk about it another time though. But I
Yeah.
loved it.
Oh, I thought it was deadly. I love watching that.
And what about you, Nisha? You cutie. Where can people chat to you, talk to you, find all your goodies?
Main thing is Instagram at retro_gamer_Ireland. The most uncreative name you could possibly think of, but there you go. I've had it for 8 years or so now, so I'm sticking with it.
Yeah, for sure.
So that's me.
Okay, well, I suppose we shall leave it there. Thank you for joining us on episode 2 of Press Any Button to Continue. In case you haven't realised, we've decided to keep the name.
Yes.
We were asking people last time, and I think we're happy with it. So, guys, thank you for hanging out. Nisha, it has been a pleasure as always chatting to you.
You too,
We'll
man.
see you all soon.
Bye.